But 2 weeks for taking a life for somebody who had the mental capacity to know right from wrong, not a fan at all.
And how the victim's mom is helping other grieving families.
It was meant to be a fun evening with friends. Back in April of 2021, mom came at night, dropped off her 13-year-old son, King, at the Ritchie Station Shopping Center in
know exactly where that is. The Dave and Buster's over there. That's where all the young kids hang out at.
Morrisville, as a reward for cleaning his room.
That's actually crazy to do that as a reward for cleaning his room. I don't know. That sounds weird. I don't know about you all, but at 12 or 13, this is just me. Maybe my kids were a little bit sheltered. I don't know. I wasn't dropping my 12 or 13-year-old son off somewhere to just be left to his own devices to do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, everybody's different. Like at 16, my son was out going to concerts. At 13, I was like, nah, bro. Like, okay, you go hang out, do your thing. I'll be over here at the bar or sitting at the table eating my food or something. Y'all, you and your friends go hang out. Y'all meet me back here in an hour just to tap in. Something like that. But I just wasn't opposed to that. That being said, when I was 13, we was all over the place. But times is different now. But I'm generally dropping my 13-year-old off somewhere just like, I don't know. I didn't do that when my son was 13 a few years ago.
For cleaning his room. Shortly after, she got a call from his friends that he'd been shot and killed.
My son was so loving, very handsome, very charming. As a mom, you want justice for your child. And I feel that I didn't really get the justice that I was seeking.
Police say there was a dispute between two groups of young people at the shopping center. The 12-year-old boy who killed King was charged as a juvenile with first-degree murder. Because of his age, his name was not released. That boy served 2 weeks in a youth detention center.
That's absolutely awful. It's absolutely awful that this 12-year-old lost his life. But what's equally awful is that after this young man served 2 weeks in a detention facility. I can't, I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe somebody actually told me I would be too tough on crime, but bruh, gunplay, y'all get in an argument and at 12 or 13 you shot another person and they no longer here. What the fuck? That's not no kid shit. That's not like whooping somebody's ass. That's not like a gang fight. Like purposeful deletion warrants a hard sanction, in my opinion. Y'all let me know. Are y'all cool with what happened in this story? Y'all cool with a 13-year-old only being held for 2 weeks for taking the life of a 12-year-old after a dispute? That's actually insane to me.
Was then released on probation. Now, 4 years later, a judge ruled today the boy's probation is over due to good behavior.
Prom would have been this year. Graduation would have been this year. A lot of things, planning out colleges for my son. And he didn't get a chance to do that. But this boy is able to run around like nothing even happened. So it's upsetting.
In court today, the boy apologized for his actions and said he's changed. The judge also heard letters from several of the boy's teachers saying they've noticed an improvement.
I know how my son would have wanted things to be. My son was a mom, let it go, it's okay type of boy. And so I tried to keep that remembrance of my son.
After King was killed, his mom went back to school and got her associate's degree in criminal justice. She now has a nonprofit called For King We Stand. It offers mentoring to at-risk youth and support groups for parents who have lost children to gun violence.
It's part of my healing. To be able to comfort other parents who have lost their children is healing for me. It's my role as a mom to allow people to know who King was and to be that difference that we need, that change that we need in this community.
Hey, shout out to mom for spinning the positive out of this and doing something productive to help the community. But I don't fucking like that a 13-year-old could take a 12-year-old's life with a gun, which is purposeful deletion. And like I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I actually saw another story. Y'all let me know. If you lost a loved one and you lost them due to an act of violence, street shit, gun shit, whatever, and the prosecutor came to you and said, hey, we want your input on should we seek the death penalty in that, what would you say? Because I saw a story in the news. I ain't going to play the story, but it was a story of 3 doofuses who tried to burglarize some elderly people. Doofus A was the mastermind, and he said, hey, Doofus B and C, I know some elderly people who got a lot of guns, hammers, blicks, pistolas, whatever you want to call them in the house. Y'all can run up in there and get this stuff, and they old people, they're not going to give you no pushback. Here's the address. Doofus B and C, who carrying out the crimes, go to the wrong house. They killed an elderly man who's there, shoot his wife, and now she's paralyzed, but she survived. And it was asked of her, what's her position on the prosecutor seeking the death penalty? And this lady was like, nah, don't seek the death penalty. I don't know. If you lose your loved ones to violence, and they said, hey, we want your opinion on should we seek the death penalty, what is your comment? Are you saying yes? Are you saying no? I'm saying the same thing, and it doesn't mean that I support the death penalty and that. Seek the maximum penalty authorized under the law, whatever that is. Like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, I don't know. I commend her for saying no. I don't want those men to get the death penalty who paralyzed me and murdered my husband in cold blood. But and not me. Seek the maximum penalty allowed. If the maximum penalty is firing squad, that's what it's going to be. If the maximum penalty is life, that's what it's going to be. If the maximum penalty is stoning them, it's going to be some stoned asses out there. It's going to be some stoned people. I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think y'all would do. There are cases where 13-year-olds are charged as adults. What circumstances in this case led to such a light sentence? It is the state or local laws that allow some teenagers to get charged and some not. Hey, thanks for that, Lise. That's actually a good question. Typically, it's the laws in the jurisdiction. So if it's a state offense, they're in state court. Some states say that, like, I know it may have changed now, but back in the day in the state I used to practice in order to be charged as an adult, you had to be at least 16 years old. Some states have statutes that say in order to be charged as an adult, you have to be 16. Some say 13. It just kind of depends where you go. I think all of that shit should be nixed, and it should be based on the offense and the facts surrounding the event. Hypothetically, a 13-year-old is playing with his father's gun and accidentally shoots his brother. That's not a situation where that kid should necessarily be charged as an adult. That is a situation where we may need to charge dad with some negligence and some other shit, but not an adult. This situation we just saw, 13-year-old, 12-year-old get into it at a shopping center, and the 13-year-old pulls out a gun and shoots the 12-year-old in the middle of the fuck no. Adult shit, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. The stupid prize is you're going to get treated as an adult. That's kind of what I think it should be, but it all depends. Great question. It all depends on the jurisdiction that the offense occurred in. But that story was absolutely ridiculous. Now, with that, I actually pieced these stories up in great order. We're going to actually take a look at a teen who was doing something crazy and a parent who was subsequently charged for the actions of their children. Trying to keep everything in order here, folks. I ain't got nothing but time. I ain't got no job to go to. I woke up at 4 a.m. and cooked breakfast. My daughter was extremely happy about that. So let's check out this next story where a parent was charged for actions of their child, and we'll dive in.
A string of car break-ins over the weekend has now led to charges against 3 suspects and several of their parents. Police in Gloucester City arrested 16, 17, and 19-year-old over their alleged involvement in a series of burglaries early Sunday morning. But when police charged the teens, prosecutors opted to also hold their parents to account.
Shout out to the prosecutors here. 100%. I agree completely. Shout out to the prosecutors here who charged the parents. I don't know about y'all. I know, I, I know sometimes people don't agree with my takes, but should parents be charged for the acts of their minors? In some instances, yes. If the parents fail to exercise appropriate accountability, appropriate oversight that contributes to the offense, prosecutors should charge them. I salute you, prosecutors, on this one.
Accusing them of failing to supervise their children. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman has the details tonight.
3 arrests were made after the alleged thefts from vehicles, but the parents of the juvenile suspects were also charged. Police say it's an effort they've been using for quite some time to cut down on juvenile crime. It was early Sunday morning, around 1:30. Surveillance video shows 3 people walking near vehicles in the Highland Park section of Gloucester City. Police say it was these 3 who were arrested a short time later for breaking into cars and stealing things. You can see one trying to access cars in a driveway across the street, running from the house when a light goes on. Denise Glassman says her son-in-law's car was hit, left unlocked on Saturday evening.
Okay, real quick. Let's just talk about this offense. This is something you see all the time in the city. It sounds like they were breaking into vehicles that were unlocked. People leave their vehicles unlocked all the time. It's not uncommon. I actually used to have a vehicle and it had like a mirror tint on it. So at night you really couldn't see it. And I was literally sitting in the car and I saw this Yahoo just coming down the street checking door handles. And I was like, he don't even know what he about to do. I ain't gonna tell this story. Just know I unlocked the door, and when he pulled on the handle, he hauled ass running, and we'll just leave it at that. But like, it's a crime of opportunity. So I don't think, from the nature of this story, they were like busting out windows. They were looking for people who left things open. So don't leave valuables in your shit. Don't leave your door unlocked. Or if you are gonna leave your door unlocked, I've actually left my door unlocked on occasions, but there's nothing in my car. And I saw where somebody went through my car and didn't take anything. I think I had gum and maybe some change in the ashtray. Shout out to you if you want the gum. If your breath stinks and you need to change, have at it, Haas. You can go ahead and take it. But I think it was a crime of opportunity is what this story is given. Not saying that it was right. Not saying it's a light crime because you shouldn't be fucking with people's stuff. But I think they were breaking in the cars, but I don't think they were breaking in the cars.
That's when he called the police and found out that they had got his car along with all the other cars on the street.
She says credit cards were stolen out of it, and his bike was also stolen out of the driveway.
Who's leaving credit cards in their car, bro? Come on now. Sometimes, I'm not victim blaming, but I'm victim blaming. Like, why would you leave your credit card and your wallet or something like that just in the car? Sometimes you do it on accident. Don't get me wrong. I can see like, oh shit, I left my stuff in the car. But generally, that's actually kind of crazy.
His kids were upset. My grandchildren are very scared now that there's going to be somebody coming to take their things.
Police say several vehicles were burglarized over the weekend. 3 suspects were taken into custody. 2 juveniles from Camden, 16 and 17 years old, and 19-year-old Wesley Hunter from Cherry Hill. Hunter had outstanding warrants and was turned over to Camden County Police. The juveniles were released to their parents, who were also charged with failure to supervise their child.
We need more of this.
If somebody came to my house and said my kids did something wrong, I would take responsibility. Absolutely. These parents need to take responsibility.
The police chief says the charge typically involves an appearance in municipal court and likely a fine. Folks in the neighborhood say they're relieved to hear about the arrest, but are still taking precautions.
So between the dogs and the Ring camera, we just watch out for each other. It's a small little neighborhood that we live in, and that's what we do.
Hey, shout out to the prosecutors there for doing the right thing. Real quick, let's check out some of these comments. I would not oppose the death penalty. I agree with you 100%, bro. It's like I don't know, man. Like losing a loved one to street shit is like I don't know. It's weird because like if your loved one, I could deal with it more if my loved one is actually doing street shit because I'm just in there adult. Because I'm just like, that's the life you choose to live. If you cool with what you're doing, who am I to judge? But like kids killing kids, bruh, using guns and shit, and Like, all that shit is terrible. Like, all that shit is terrible. And I don't think that, hey, shout out to President Trump on this one. He talked about it because that's a big problem in DC with the carjackings. A lot of time it's like 12 and 13-year-olds doing these carjackings. And they're doing the carjackings because, one, the sanctions are weak. And I know the Attorney General in DC said something like 89% of juveniles who committed crimes are prosecuted. It's not about them being prosecuted. It's about the level of the sanction. What are you charging them with? I guarantee you 89% of juveniles who commit crimes aren't being charged as adults. The statistic is of juveniles who commit high-level felonies, what percentage of them are being charged as an adult versus a minor? That's the statistic that we need to know. But again, not opposed to it. And I see sis, what's going on, Maui? I appreciate you tuning in. Hey, agree that parents should be charged for negligent supervision when their kids are out doing goofy ass stuff like that. They look like they was out early as hell in the morning too. So they look like they were out early in the morning.